what does it do to our brains? What does it do to our nervous system to be constantly thinking, what time is it? If we're real clock watchers at work or at school or at home or something, it's a parasitic thought. What time is it? When you're sleeping, the first thing you can think when you wake up, what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? What does this mean? And it is a parasitic thought. I have it all the time, and I'm pretty loose when it comes to scheduled commitments. And it's still parasitic to me. And it's annoying. But it's just one of those things that you gotta do, supposedly. I think having release from that is a really wonderful thing when you can get it. It instantly makes me anxious. What time is it? It makes me a little bit excited, I suppose, if it's something exciting that's happening. But a lot of the time it's just routine things. Time to go to work, time to go to school, time to leave work and go home, time to eat, time to clock out for my lunch, time to do this, time to call in and report these numbers or whatever. And if you miss those things, you're in trouble. That's why you gotta think about them, and you gotta keep them somewhere. It's like you develop a certain part of your brain that's just maybe tied to the biological clock. Something, you develop a part of your brain to constantly run in the background and remind you, 6 o'clock, time to do this, 6:15, time to do this, 6:45, time to do this, 9 p.m., time to do this, midnight, time to do this. And, what does it do to us? What does it do to our creative processes? What does it do to our capability to really enjoy a moment? What time is it? 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 I think that might be the worst question you can ask yourself. It's addictive to ask yourself, what time is it? You get emotional reactions, physical reactions, stomachache. Oh, shit, I missed. I totally forgot. Because no matter how much you ask yourself, what time is it? You don't get it. You don't really remember everything. Being able to ask yourself what time is it makes you think that, I can put a bunch of things on my schedule and I'm going to get them all done. Here I got this planner in my phone and it's going to help me. And it is helpful, I guess, sort of. But no, you have to set a time for you. Set all the times, I have this on this day at this time and this on this day at this time. And there's tons of those, but then you also need something to remind you to look at those things to get a good idea of what you're scheduled. So you need a scheduled time to remind yourself that you have other scheduled times. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? Any kind of release you can get from that. If you could go one day without thinking that, I think it would be a goddamn beautiful day. Wouldn't it? You do get a release from it in some places. If you're high. The time goes so slow that even if you're asking yourself what time is it, you look at the clock and it's like, Jesus, a half hour just passed. And it was actually only a minute. That's a nice experience. But working with a baseline consciousness certain environments are conducive to silencing the what time is it, what time is it, what time is it mantra. Going up north, and there's no clocks on the walls, there's no time to be anywhere. You can see the sun rise and set, and it's not 6 p.m. or 5:43 a.m. or noon or midnight. It's just a part of the day that you're experiencing. And look at the beauty of dawn, and the beauty of dusk, and the beauty of noon, and the beauty of the nighttime where it's completely dark out and you can see all the stars. There aren't any numbers. They're just general feelings that you get. And that's really when you can start appreciating time. And there's no numbers on it. Different cultures treat time differently in scheduling. If you tell a Polish person to meet you at 1 p.m. on Friday, they might get there at 2 p.m. on Saturday. If you tell a German person to be there at 1 p.m. on Friday, they might be there at 1 p.m. on Friday. If you tell an American, they might be there at 12:50 p.m. on Friday. Certain people think it's polite to be a little bit early or a lot of it early, or some people just have a blur of what that means. It's a general time. To me, that would be so comfortable to live in a culture where 2 p.m. on Friday meant midnight on Wednesday to midnight on the next Wednesday. Because we really do have a lot of time. The way that we lose time is hurrying, because you don't notice anything if you have the dense schedule. If you get rid of the schedule, you can really do things. And you can be busy because your mind is busy being creative. That's really important. Everything else is a sickness of the mind. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? I think in certain situations it's good to have mantras, things that you repeat. Nothing to do, nothing to hold. Nothing to do, nothing to hold. But what time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's like the opposite. It's like a mantra that keeps you tied into the world and keeps you without, you don't have any time. And what time is it? Not time for you to be without worry. That's really the answer to that, if you're asking yourself it. Asking what time is like yelling at yourself. It's like saying, I am the accultured one. I am culture. What time is it? Are you in the right place for this designated, assumed, correct? There are certain things you should be doing and certain things you shouldn't be doing. At this time of the day, you should be doing this, God damn it, and if you're not, you're no good shit. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the one thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. That's the Steve Jobs quote that's on the monitor at work. Steve Jobs, even though I don't like a lot of Apple's business model, Steve Jobs was a good guy, and he didn't give a shit about rules, just like that quote says. I mean, he didn't. There are too many really, really successful people I just didn't care. Rules are really uninspired. Rules are never really thought through. They're dead-minded thoughts. They're reactions and simplifications. Even if they originally came out of something inspired, they become dogmatic and really cookie cutter. This is how everyone should be. They're not good guidelines. They may have at one time been good guidelines for one person speaking to themselves. Having the balls to record yourself, no matter what it sounds like, is a big step coming out of in 2012. I don't want to suffer like that again. I'm at the point in my life, which may be a point that I've been at before, where I just don't want, I know how bad it is to be dead-minded, especially for that long. I don't want to go back. I won't go back. I can't have the same kind of, I'm going to slip into it knowingly. And in the beginning you knew, then you pretended to forget, then you forgot you pretended, and you forgot. Remember, one of those things. I'm not at the point to say, yeah, I'll go into one of those, and I'll lend all my time and all my life to Ilwain, and he can be the one making the decisions and letting other people make decisions for him. I did get to that point, and maybe it's after a big day of doing exactly what I wanted, a long time, China and everything. It was such a height of doing what I wanted and being successful with just doing what the fuck I wanted. I think I came down from that and said, well, what can we do next? But the next time this happens, I want to do whatever the fuck I want, have a high on it, and then move right into the next high, and into the next high, and into the next plateau of doing what's right. I don't know if I want to learn from those experiences anymore, because it's not like, well, that just happens in life, because it doesn't matter if you consent to it or not. I did consent to it. I consented to despair and all the darkness that comes with the path that I chose. And I said, well, this is going to be a dark one. I can feel it. I knew it. And I prepared myself for that, and I directed myself into it. I chose and consented that. I don't think we should do that anymore. I don't think it was a bad decision. It was the only decision that was there. But the next time this comes around, I hope that I can remember just how bad it is. Take my word for it, Henny Line. Take my word for it. You can learn without that. You can find a new trip without totally falling into something and not knowing how to get out because we lost it. And really what despair is the moments where you don't know. The first step of righteousness towards something good or something that you want, you don't know. That's the worst you can get. I came to that point too many times. Now in my life, it's like every once in a while I get a little bit uneasy and I go, oh shit, am I going back into that? No. I spend a lot more time thinking analytically. Anything I can do to prevent that happening again. It used to be anything I could do to get out of it. Now it's anything I can do to prevent that from happening again. It's a mixed bag when you give all decision making to an entity on the outside. It's a mixed bag finding a guru. Because even if the guru is good at first, they're human. They can start using it in the wrong way. And you need to be able to keep that power inside yourself. Don't hemorrhage that. Don't be a pushover. If you think you're being a pushover, run away. If you get guilt that you ran away, kill that guilt. Take it out into the woods and fight it every moment. Fight that with everything you have. All the positivity you have. It's the same story over and over and over again. If you come into despair and depression, the only one who can fix it is you. There is nothing from the outside. You can wait for something, but nothing's going to come. You go look for it. You know what the first step is. And it's not the first step necessarily that does anything in the world, has any effect on anybody else. It's mental. It's creative. And it's 100% you.